Alright, so it's Friday today, which means the title update 10 PTS is hitting phase 2, and they did release the patch notes a few hours ago. So I thought we would take a look what they are focusing on now and what the changes are. So on the second PTS, the main focus will be on new gear and exotics balance, weapon damage, overall balance, and loot generosity. So let's just check here. So gear attributes. So incoming repairs no longer increase the amount of armor repaired by armor kits, talents, or gear set effects, which they did say on State of the Game, which I kind of think is sad though. Like incoming repair was, I really like that stat, and I think it might have been better to like balance how it works then and make it a bit less efficient. But then again, that takes more time, so this is of course an easier fix, and maybe this is for the better. But of course a lot of people love incoming repair because it was super strong. So read the developer commentary. Incoming repair was always meant to be a defensive attribute equivalent to repair skills, so that players could further enhance the amount of healing they receive from their skills or the group's healer. Unfortunately, the underlying code prevented us from differentiating between alternate sorts of armor repairs, such as those from talents and gear sets like Foundry Bulwark and Firewall's unique armor kit effect. We wanted to address this during the development of Warlords, but choose to postpone the fix in order to deal with the higher priority issues at the time. We underestimated the extent to which this attribute would affect the new Warlords meta and failed to predict the severity of degenerate gameplay it would cause when combined with certain talents or gear sets. It's important to stress that this is not a PvP only issue or an instance of PvP environment affecting PvE balance. Incoming repair was compromising both aspects of the game and needed to be addressed, especially considering this update coincidence with the release of new raid. Not addressing the issue would mean forcing ourselves to balance all existing and future gear sets and talents around the knowledge that the players could potentially read, very likely double the amount of repair they receive, which stifles creative and effectively limit the player choice. So I guess that makes sense. It's both broken in PvE and PvP, which we all probably knew about, but they're like putting that out there, I guess, because there is a lot of times I see this, a lot of people think that PvP is the issue, even though some stuff are as powerful, or even in some cases even more powerful in PvE. People just only think the PvP is the issue. No, like they don't want you to be like they don't want you to have super broken stuff in PvE either. Just because the NPC can't tell you it's overpowered compared to other stuff doesn't mean like it's not, you know. Of course, players will talk louder than the NPCs, right? Sidearms. Double barrel sawed-off shotgun, optimal range reduced. Some buffs to pistols here. Pretty crazy buff on the Magnum though, but I think that makes sense. It was kind of bad. Even Deagle getting a buff. Basically all the pistols except these are getting buffed, so I guess that's good. Like a lot of these people didn't use it at all, so yeah. Now we take a look at the exotics though. So the Bighorn, damage increased by 11.2%. Added functionality that provides additional headshot damage. Full talent is now when scoped, switches to semi-automatic fire mode, dealing 450 weapon damage with each shot. Then we have the new thing here. So headshot grants +1 headshot damage, stacks up to 50 times, reset to 0 at full stacks. So I guess this will work when both in AR or rifle mode. I mean, on rifle, this will be kind of hard to stack up, right? But maybe that would make it good as AR. Then again, the mag size is the issue with the gun. I think if you want to play it as AR, like you slap on a bigger mag, I think. I see a lot of exotics having so low mag size, like 30. So I think Lady Death as well have so little mag size, Bighorn as well. You would just like to see, I mean, an increase in the mag size, man. Especially for Bighorn. Because you can't really use it that well as AR. Then again, I guess the main focus is to use it as a rifle. But then it lacks a lot of other stuff. Eagle Bear, damage increased by 7.8%. Chameleon, 32.8% damage increase. That's pretty huge. And the added functionality that retains your current buff to the next combat encounter when combat ends. Full talent is now 30 headshot grants 20 critical hit chance and 50 critical hit damage for 45 seconds. Oh. I think that was only crit damage before, right? I can't remember because I haven't touched this gun in ages. Hitting 60 body shot grants 80 weapon damage for 45 seconds. That's definitely increased from before. Hitting 30 leg shot grants 150 reload speed for 45 seconds. New buffs refresh when out of combat. That's a pretty big buff actually. This will make the gun, I mean, this is a huge buff to Chameleon. I know a lot of people asked for this, so yeah, there you go. This should make the gun pretty damn good. Bullet King, damage increased by 2.6%. Nemesis, 11.1% increase. Liberty, added functionality to provide extra damage if you're trying to keep stacks. Full talent is now new. Hit grants +2 weapon damage, stacks up to 30. And then we have headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. I mean, this is pretty cool. So there's actually a reason to sit on the 30 stacks, because you will have 60% more weapon damage, which is quite a lot, especially on a deagle, right? So yeah, this should make it way more useful. But you gotta remember though, this is only when you hit the body shots. When you hit the headshot, you will consume the stacks, right? Regulus, the new exotic revolver. Increased initial bullet accuracy. Oh, I love to see this. I felt like it was pretty accurate though, but this is great. Changed Regulus third attribute bonus from damage to armor to headshot damage. I don't know about that actually. I mean, I guess it's fine for how the gun works, but I feel like the headshot damage value is so low, and damage to armors is just the second best here. I would love to see out of cover damage, but I mean, sure, headshot damage makes sense on this, but maybe have a higher value than like the value that guns have normally. I think that would be fine for exotic. Just bump it up a little bit. Merciless Ruthless, damage increased by 12.5%. Added functionality to provide extra non-explosive damage as well. Full talent is now. This weapon fires on trigger pull and release. If both bullets hit the same enemy, gain a stack. At 7 stack, shooting an enemy deals now 900% amplified damage and creates a 7-meter explosion, dealing 1200 weapon damage consuming the stacks. Okay, that's pretty crazy. So basically when you get 7 stacks, you're gonna deal a lot more damage, right? But sure, like mainly the damage comes from the explosion, but I mean 900% amplified damage, that's gotta make your gun actually do it needs to do pretty good damage. So yeah, basically at 7 stacks they will die. They will die quick. Diamondback, increased damage by 7.7%. Text updated to clarify a new target isn't marked until after the 5-second buff. Lullaby, Sweet Dreams, just the damage increased by 11%. Lady Death, damage increased by 18.9%. Chatterbox, 16.7% increase. Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads, added functionality to add bonus armor. Full talent is now. Performing a cover to cover or vaulting reloads your drawn weapon and grants 25% bonus armor for 5 seconds. Okay, I mean, so basically you get 25% bonus armor now. Makes it a bit better. The reason I don't use this one or find it that good is because I feel like it's really situational. Like you want to do the vaulting, right? Cover to cover takes usually too long time. Vaulting, that's really good and what you want to do, but it can be pretty hard to find the good spots all the time to get this efficient, right? But sure, like getting some more armor, why not? Dodge Shady Gunslinger Holster, added functionality that makes your hit do headshot damage. Full talent is now. While your pistol is holster, gain a stack buff every 0.3 seconds, up to 100. When you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals 10% damage per stack. New, this deals headshot damage anywhere you hit. I'm not sure what I think about this. Like, this is gonna be insane damage. I kind of like it that you need to hit a headshot with it, and this just means like you can hit anywhere and you get the buff. And you get the buff damage, right? So I'm not a big fan of talents like this, but I see what they're doing, but I don't like when you shoot like anywhere and you will get headshot damage. It will make this one way better though, that's for sure. PTS U-Gloves changed functionality to no longer grant group / raid wide overcharge unless you are skill tier 6. Okay, so you have to be skill tier 6 now. Added functionality to provide Hive skill haste. Full talent is now. Grants 15% Hive skill haste per skill tier. Changed. Detonating a Hive refreshes your skill cooldowns and grants overcharge for 15 seconds if it's skill tier 6. This effect also applies to all allies. Allies receiving this effect are unable to benefit from it again for 120 seconds. So basically what this just does is, yeah, you get some more Hive skill haste and you need to be skill tier 6 basically to use PTS U-Gloves. Sawyer's knee pads added functionality to continue to provide damage bonus move for a short duration. Full talent is now cannot be staggered by explosion. Increased total weapon damage by 3% each second you are not moving. Stacks up to 10 until you start moving. New. All stacks lost 10 seconds after moving. So basically you can move and then 10 seconds later you lose it. This will make it really strong actually. You will just sit and charge it upright. When it's full, you have 10 seconds moving around and getting the damage. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of this change though. I think this could make it a bit too strong and too cheesy, especially in PvP. PvE wise, I mean it will be fine, but yeah, I don't know. I would have liked to seen it that you could move for like half a second or 1 second before it would lose the buff, right? I think this is, yeah. It definitely will make this one way better though. I'm not sure that I'm the big fan of the change though. Like it needed somewhat a change, right? I mean, this will make it really good, but I'm not sure if I like that. But definitely this will make these knee pads really, really good. For sure. Mantis. Change the Mantis third attribute bonus from critical hit chance to damage to target out of cover. Oh, thank God. I want to see all the exotics with damage to target out of cover because it's just the best in slot there. Or they would have to change some of the stats there to make them more balanced. But as of now, like target out of cover is just the best there. Which is great that we get that on the Mantis. The Ravenous. When an enemy with defensive primer stacks on them is killed, you now gain the benefit of those stacks without needing to detonate them first. Okay, that's great. So whenever you stack, I think shooting from left, you stack for armor, right? And if they die and you didn't trigger it, you will still get the bonus armor. So this is a good change. You will always get the bonus armor now, basically. So that will make it a bit easier to play. So that's all the exotics. So now we move on to talents. We have a Headhunter. Buff icon now shows how close to the damage cap you are at. That's pretty cool. Now properly caps damage to your current weapon when you weapon swap. Damage cap lowered with the new functionality. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals 125% of that killing blow's damage in addition to it. Damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. New. This is raised to 1250, lowered from 1500 if your headshot damage is greater than 150. Okay, I mean, that's fine, that's fine. So basically, you need to have a headshot damage spec build. And I mean, in this case, it just tells you that this is going to be more effective if you use sniper. I think that's where they really want to see this gun used. You can, of course, reach 150% if you spec it really, really much. So that's kind of cool, though. Right? Like, you get more damage if you spec headshot damage, you know, because crit is kind of the meta. So, I mean, this will make headshot somewhat better in a lot of cases. But maybe even the damage should be capped even lower, right? Like, maybe they should be capped to like 300% or something, 400. And to get this high, you would have the headshot damage. Because that would make headshot damage valuable again, you know, you would go that for this. But yeah, I like this one for sure. Fix the issue with overcharge lasting indefinitely if you weapon swap. It's intended for the buff to remain when weapon swapping, just not forever. Perfect version on mechanical animal numbers are adjusted. Weapon kills grants +1 skill tier for 19 seconds, so 1 more second there. Stacks 3 times. Weapon kills at skill tier 6 grants overcharge 15 seconds. Overcharge cooldown 90 seconds from 80. So then we have a gear set. So Negotiator's Dilemma. Damage value transferring between players was not scaled correctly. Previously, transfer damage was higher than the initial damage the original target took. I think this works with like out of cover damage got like into the calculation twice. Same with the like basically everything that was amping your damage. So glass cannon would do that as well. So you would get glass cannon and out of cover damage on the first target, and then it would swap the damage to the second target, right? And then the second target would additionally take that out of cover damage and the perfect glass cannon again. So it would be like way more than it was supposed to be. That's something I noticed a long time ago, that the damage was higher than it was supposed to be, and I think that was the issue. Damage transfers on the initial bullet that marks a new target. Fix some UI feedback bugs, which was kind of annoying. Add a 50-meter range cap for the damage transfer while in PvP. I think 50 meters might be too short, actually. I would have liked 25 maybe. But I mean, yeah. I guess you guys that still play PvP, go and test this and give them your feedback. Maybe 50 meters is enough. I don't think 50 meters is that long though, so I think this might be too little. Like, I think the main issue with this set is that it works with players and NPCs. If that is not changed, then that's the main issue. Foundry Bulwark, so the new tank set. Healing offset in PP was not scaled correctly, should now be in line with damage taken. Future Initiative. Backpack and chest armor now have utility gear mod slot instead of defensive. Increased 2-piece repair skill from 15 to 30%, skill duration 15 to 30. So that's the healer set. I mean, it didn't make any sense for it to have defensive, so I mean, utility gear mod slot, that's good. And then, yeah, I got a buff on these, so pretty good. Hardwire increased 3-piece repair skill from 15 to 30, that's pretty big. Aces and 8s, 3-piece headshot damage bonus is now additive rather than multiplicative. I personally don't like this. Like, I personally don't like this at all. I think sniper gear sets, it makes sense that the headshot damage is multiplicative because you stack so much headshot damage on sniper builds, or you kind of want to do that. And then if it's additive, you don't get anything, right? You get 30 headshot damage. If it's multiplicative, that means the more headshot damage you have, the more you gotta get out of the multiplicative buff. Which just makes more sense for snipers, in my opinion. So I don't like this at all. Like, now it's 30% additive. Which means not as worth anymore to spec headshot damage for the sniper, which I think should be the way to go for snipers. So I don't like this at all. Brand sets, Alps. Increased 1-piece repair skill from 15 to 20. See a lot of repair skills buffs here. Murakami, repair skill buff as well. RNK, repair skill buff as well. Providence, increased 1-piece headshot damage from 10 to 15. I think this should have happened a long time ago, but at least we're getting it increased now. Arali, higher headshot damage as well. Good. Grupo, 15% headshot damage as well. I couldn't even remember Grupo had headshot damage as a third piece. Skills. Reinforcer Chem Launcher. UI has been updated to clarify that the initial heal only affects allies, not the skill user. The functionality has not changed. Some balance here, starting off with PvP. Efficient, reduced specialization, armor kit bonus from 100% to 50%. Versatile, reduce the amp weapon damage from SMG and shotgun from 35 to 25, which is kind of big nerf, but the 35 was just too much, in my opinion. Like, it's amp damage too. Skills, increased striker drone damage by 10, turret damage 20, stinger high damage by 75. That sounds like crazy, but I don't know like where everything is right now, so maybe that's fine. PvE. Developer comment. We've seen players' concerns about higher difficulties becoming too easy. Looking at the game data and player strategies, NPCs and Legendary and Heroic are often too easy, trivialized using status effect. In these top difficulties, we are proposing to raise NPCs' resistance to status effects to prevent them getting infinity locked in status effect reaction. This is our first pass and we will make adjustments for Title Update 10 where needed. Yeah, I think this is needed, especially with the new CC set. Like, everything is gonna be CC 100% of the time otherwise, so it's good that they picked this up. Increased NPC resistance to status effect. No changes were made to story, normal, hard, or challenging. These remain at previous values. In Legendary, base resistance for NPCs is now 40%. Used to be 25. So that's not that big of a deal. Big change, right? In Heroic, base resistance for NPCs is now 25, previously at 0. So I mean, it's not that big of a change though. This is additive with existing veterans resistance scaling. The veterancy resistance have been veteran 20, elite 25, and named 35. For greater clarity, this means that for legendary NPCs, the resistance are default, red bars, 40%, 60 veterans, 65 elite, and 75% unnamed. Okay, that's quite a lot. Then again, like for unnamed, like they should have high resistance. Hunters base resistance is now 40, used to be 25. Since all hunters are named NPCs, so their resistance is 75 due to the above mentioned veterancy resistance. Status effects have a minimum required duration of 0.5 seconds, so if the NPC resistance causes the effect to be less than minimal duration, the status effect will not be applied. This is the same way status effect resistance works for players. Then we got the loot, so item power, updated item power distribution to have a better spread between minimum and maximum for all difficulties. Increased minimum rolled item power for field proficiency caches and dark zone caches, clan and season caches. That was a lot of caches. But that's good, like a lot of the caches have seemed really bad, so This is good, they are buffing that. Difficulty scaling, regular loot from loot containers in mission now scale with mission difficulty. Target loot from loot containers in mission now scales with mission difficulty. That's good too. Loot pools, Warlords of New York brands can now only show up as target loot in Washington, including Dark Zones. Known issue on PTS, for World Tier 5 players, not all target loot pools may be available at the same time. Crafting, increase minimum and maximum crafting results. That's good, I feel. I feel like crafting always felt really bad. So hopefully it's a bit easier to get better crafts there. Added waiting to crafting results to have a better spread between min and max. That sounds good. Removed final World Tier 5 crafting bench upgrade as its power increase is now redundant. Then we have a bug fixes here. Okay, it's not that many. We can go through that. Fix the issue where the target loot was not dropping on story difficulty. Fix an issue where Regulus and the Ravenous reconfigured blueprints will not show up in the crafting bench. Scanning through this quick. Fix some weird stars. I think that was important to talk about. Fix an issue that caused the welcome and the info screens on PTS to be dark. What is that? NDA information? What? But yeah, I think that's basically everything. I think some pretty nice stuff actually. I didn't expect this much on the exotics. We got a lot of changes on those. Some buffs, mainly just buffs, and some added functionalities to make a lot of them actually more useful. I think Bighorn still needs some more changes though. I don't think this headshot is enough. But yeah, overall, looks pretty good. I'm definitely gonna check out the phase 2 this weekend. I don't think I will do it today though, but probably like Saturday or Sunday. If you're interested in that, I'm gonna stream that at twitch.tv/widdz. Just follow my Twitter at widdz.tv if you wanna stay up to date, or follow the Twitch to see when I go live. And I should have some YouTube videos as well covering that. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys in the next one.